Please tell me this is going to be a quick job. I'm running on fumes over here. Hey folks, we're back again with another video, and today we're going to be working on a SRAM GX Eagle crankset. We're going to remove the crankset, clean it all up, inspect the bearings, grease everything back up, and put it back together. Very easy job. You could absolutely do this job. In fact, many of you have this crankset, and you should do this job once a year. Give it a fresh coat of grease, and you will be good for basically a whole season, depending on where you ride. Now, I'm really hoping that this is going to be a quick video and I don't need to tap and face this frame, because I'm on a marathon over here. I'm making service videos with this frame before I actually leave town again. And it's getting late, man. I need to go to bed, all right? So we're just going to dive straight into the job. So the first thing we need to do is remove the chain from the chain ring, but I have a chain guide in here, so I'm going to have to remove this part of the chain guide, right? So 1-up chain guide, 4mm Allen. Chances are you might not, probably don't have this, but if you do, 4mm Allen, and we just need to remove it. Now, there's going to be shims in the back of this chain guard. It's a good chain guard, actually. I like it. All right, come on, come on. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our chain. We can leave that part there. We're not too worried about it. And we're just going to put it on the side. Next, we remove the crank bolt. Now, a lot of people make this mistake. You're not trying to remove the ring on the outside. We are only removing the crank bolt on the inside. We need an 8mm Allen, and that's it, okay? So do not try and remove this cap over here, plain and simple. 8mm Allen goes in. Now, chances are that's gonna be in here real tight, right? So grab the swing arm, grab the crank arm, and then go down on an angle, right? To give yourself as much leverage as possible, and then you're going counterclockwise. Oh, Jesus, man, that was stupid tight. Folks, you do not need to overcrank these things. Okay, and then it's going to get, so it's going to start off hard, and then it's going to get easy, and then it's going to get a little bit hard again. That's normal. And then it's just going to be easy from this point on. In fact, I don't even need to use that leverage part or the long part. Okay, so you guys can see better, hopefully. We are literally extracting crank arm. Ooh, nasty. Well, since we're here, what we're gonna do is use our hand, or you could use a mallet, and we're gonna tap out. Wow. Sounds in there real good. Actually, I do not need to tap this or face it. That moves in real smooth. So we are good. Yay! That's going to be a quick video, or at least it should be. So next, let's start by cleaning up and inspecting the bearing since we're here, right? So there's a spacer. Let's clean it while we're here. Right? Get all the dirt off of it. See what I mean by dirt gets inside? That's on the edge of the seal of the bearing. So that's why you do this once a year. At least, depending on where you ride. If you ride in muddy conditions, you should do this twice a year. Okay, fine frame. So now what I'm gonna do is hold on to the bearing and lightly rub it. Don't dig in, right? We do have a seal over here. We need to make sure that seal stays and we don't lose it or tear it or damage it. Okay, well actually the seal's over here. There's a blue seal on the inside here, I should say. Right, so what we're gonna do is, oops, I'll get that later. Okay. Now, let's inspect the bearing. What we're going to do is you're going to take your finger, you're going to go around. It shouldn't be rough in any way. It should be nice and smooth. There should be no play. It should just roll round and round each direction with very little effort. This one is in excellent condition. And now you're going to repeat the same thing to the other side. As for cleaning the cranks, first we're going to start off by removing this tension ring, right? So 2mm Allen, just loosen it. You don't have to remove the ring. In fact, don't remove the screw. Turn this off, and then let's just put that on the side. So that's pretty much it over here, right? So what we're going to do first is grab a paper towel, clean the threads real well, clean any dirt off this thing, clean the threads in here. Any dirt, we want nice, clean, fresh connection because we do not want any creaks. If you leave dirt in here, believe it or not, you could get creaks, especially on threads. So that's, yeah, great. Okay, I'll clean the inside of that later. So then, since we're here, let's clean the inside threads, and let's clean the outside while we're at it. Best you can. I'll get this better later, right after this, but you want to clean this well as well. That was redundant. So now let's remove a bunch of old grease over here that's full of dirt. Put that on the side before we throw this in the garbage. Okay, now let's just clean all the dirt from out here. And there's like these little areas over here where the splines fit into. We want to clean those walls. Make sure there's no dirt on there, because if there's dirt trapped between there and these splines, that will definitely creak. So go in there and clean all that best you can. Just like that. Okay, and then, since we're here, let's grab all that excess old grease out of the inside. I'll be able to get it. Scoop it all out. Grab another paper towel. Just be careful with that grease. That grease makes like a huge mess. Okay, so then what you can do is straight down with alcohol to get all that little stuff out of there, especially on the inside, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to thoroughly clean all this. I will be back. So everything's clean, right? We cleaned the threads over here for the load tensioner, clean the axle, well, clean the load tensioner, and again, the really important part is to clean where the splines are and the threads on the inside over here. Okay, another area where you might want to look at to see if there's a lot of grease buildup and gunk buildup is over here on the chain ring. Sometimes a lot of gunk could build up over there and it gets really, really hard and the chain won't sit the way it should. So if there is, just scrape it out with a pick or whatever, all right? And this is our spacer, and there's only one spacer. So now we put things back together. So for starters, we're going to take the tensioner over here. Thread part goes down, the flat part goes outwards towards the drive side, right? So let's take it and we're going to screw it all the way down, just like that. Okay, now don't need to over tighten it. Now here's where a lot of people make a mistake. Don't put too much grease on everything. We only need a little bit of grease over here where the bearing sits, just like that, and over here where the bearing sits, just like that. And then put some grease in, just a little bit of grease in the splines. And that is it. Now let's put it back on the bike. So we cleaned our bottom bracket, the bearings are working great. Now let's install the crankset. So we're gonna start off with the non-drive side. We are gonna take it and insert it. It should go straight through nice and easy. Swing it up and down, it should swing like that. If yours swings, like if you bring it up and it only swings there and stops, well, then you got problems, right? That shouldn't happen. It should go back and forth just like that. So then we're going to grab our spacer that was on the drive side. Let's snap the spacer in. You should hear it click in, okay? Now we're going to put in the drive side crank. So the non-drive side is facing down. The drive side is going to face the opposite. We're going to grab our 8mm and screw it in. Just like that. Ooh. Okay. So we are going clockwise here. Should I mention that? Yeah. So let's tighten it by hand as much as we could for now. And then we're going to come back with a torque wrench. 8mm. Now, SRAM wants you to do it at 54. I think 54 is too high personally. I do mine usually 45, but this is somebody else's. I'm going to do it at 50. And even 50 to me is too high. The reason I do 45, I've never come across a scenario where 45 Newton meters of crank comes loose, and it makes it much easier to remove that bolt down the road. You saw how hard it was to remove it, right? So I'm going to do it 50, and damn it, 49, there we go, 50.1. Next, we're gonna go to the non-drive side, and we are going to tension the bearings. We're gonna preload them, right? So we're gonna take this dial, turn it clockwise until it presses against lightly. Okay, right there, I feel it press. Then, hopefully I don't shake the camera. Move the crank back and forth this way. If you could move it, you go a little bit more. I can't move it. I'm going to go a little bit back. This is basically you're trying to find an even balance of leaving it as freely spinning as possible, but without any lateral movement. So right there, I'm still good. See right there, I can feel it. So I'm going to go back. I feel nothing. So what I'm going to do now, we have a gap over here. We grab our 2 millimeter and we are going to close that gap. Do not over tighten it. Just close the gap. And that's looking good. Finish it up. We're going to put our chain back on. Just like that. And then in my case, I also have a chain guide. So in case you have a Santa Cruz Blur that has a chain guide, the way the guide works, you have 2 parts to it, the outer part and the inner, right? And then you have a spacer in the back. Some will have multiple spacers. The spacers depends on how much width you need, right? Spacers only fit in the back one way. So this is sort of a concave or concave. And over here, it's well, it's like a dimple basically, right? And it just fits in just like that. So the way this works, this screw goes through it. And if you notice, we have a chain link over there. The whole idea as far as height, we want that chain link to be hidden by the actual chain. And that is hidden perfectly well. So we know we're at the right height. So now hold on to the screw in the back. Make sure all this goes inside fully just like that, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the outer and we're going to take our 5 millimeter. Get my fingers out of the way. We're going to screw it together and you're going to screw this together in nice fist tight. There we go. So nice fist tight. Now, one thing I happen to notice over here is the chain link is pointing in the wrong direction. We have an arrow over here. That arrow is pointing backwards. That arrow is supposed to be pointing in the direction that the chain turns. So whoever put this chain on in that chain link did it backwards. So again, we pedal this way and ultimately the arrow is pointing that way. So what I'm going to do is fix it. Got my little tool over here. Boy, that's loose. This should really use a new chain link, to be honest. So I'm just going to swap them around the other side. And actually, it should go this way. So this one should go like this. And this one, arrow going this way, should go like that. And mainframe. Yeah. Now we are going to put it back together. Make sure they sink in. And then I'm going to use my little tool over here. You could go buy these tools. Actually, they sell plastic versions of these that you can put in a backpack. Comes in handy, believe it or not. I'd consider buying one. They're only a few bucks. You don't need to get one like this. This one's handy if you have a shot, right? And then just spread it apart. Wow. Yeah, this needs a new chain link for sure. This is too loose. And that's pretty much it, folks. We are all done with this crank. Like I said, this is a very easy job and you guys should do this at least once a year, if not twice a year, if you ride in conditions that are really muddy and crappy. You're only going to be saving your bearings on your bottom bracket, all right? So there's not that much left to do outside of, well, put the wheels back on the bike, go out there and have a blast with the thing. So, folks, if you like this video, click that like button, click that subscribe button to see more videos, click that bell button, what ding, in order to get notified when new videos get released. More videos like this are coming. If you want to see a couple of videos right now, those two over there might be of interest. And until the next time, I hope all is well with everyone, and we will be talking to you all soon. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.